Shalom Yasha'Allah. First and foremost, we get all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash, the balance of apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect that pushes the great gospel in sincerity and truth. This your brother Tazakai Yahweh from the great millstone, Sinanapolis camp. Coming at you another lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and Lord will it be edified. Got the article here from The Guardian, and it reads, it says, climate crisis. Extreme hunger soaring in world's climate hotspots, says Oxfam. It says a charity says 19 million people facing starvation and report highlighting link with extreme weather, right? And ultimately with this extreme weather, I guarantee it's going to, like droughts and stuff like that. And then in some cases as well, too much rain, like from floods and monsoons and typhoons, stuff like that, that can also result in, famine as far as lack of food because it's actually destroying the crop. So lack of water or too much water, man, that's like I said, that's detrimental, to crops or, food or the case may be, right? And this article came out September 15, 2022, the year Yahweh Shai turned it up. And it reads, extreme hunger is closely linked to the climate crisis, with many areas of the world most affected by extreme weather experiencing severe food shortages, research has shown. And what I want to show too, right here, here's the image now. These could be Jakes, or, they could be Hamites, or Jake mixed with Ham, whatever the case may be. But look at this child right here that's being held. That baby crying because what? Hungry. Right? And that's what a lot of people over here in Babylon the Great, well, especially, around the world too, but also in Babylon the Great, definitely going to be hit with it, severely. In my opinion, the hardest, because this is definitely the place where Yahweh Shai has great indignation. That's why it's going to destroy the mother face of the earth. So you best believe in the times to come, extreme famine, extreme hunger is going to be over here in Babylon the Great. Right? It says, the development charity Oxfam examined 10 of the world's worst climate hotspots afflicted by drought, floods, severe storms, other extreme weather. As I was saying, those all can contribute to, food shortages, via extreme weather. It says and found their rates of extreme hunger have more than doubled in the past 6 years, right? It says within the country studied, 48 million people are currently suffering from acute hunger, right? And I had looked up, acute hunger. I got a few definitions here real quick. They say acute food insecurity is when a person's inability to consume adequate food puts their lives or livelihoods in immediate danger. So not, moderate, but it says immediate danger, right? It says, I had another one real quick right here. This one right here says, it gives a distinction between chronic hunger and acute hunger. So the chronic hunger contributes to stunted growth in children and high mortality rates due to hunger-related diseases, right? And it says acute hunger involves severe undernourishment over a distinct period and is reflected in wasting and starvation. It is most often caused by emergency situations which require immediate food aid. So those who are experiencing acute hunger, they need food immediately. They have inadequate food to sustain themselves. And this says what? It says 48 people are currently suffering from acute hunger, up from the 21 million people in 2016. Of these, about 18 million people are on the brink of starvation. Like, they about to just die from starvation. They just through. So the people who are in acute, they are in need, but the 18 million people, they about to starve. Like, they about to croak over, so to speak. Published on Thursday. It says the 10 countries covered by the report, so it's only 10 countries, right? So we know it's going to come to the whole world, but it says what? Somalia, Haiti, Djibouti, Haiti is be the Levites, so-called Haitians would be the Levites. It say Kenya, Niger, Afghanistan, Guatemala, those northern kingdoms, Madagascar, Burkina Faso, and Zimbabwe, which we know Jake been scattered throughout. It's Jake's in all these countries that they listed. We've been scattered to the four corners of the earth. Right, it says, were those with the highest number of UN appeals driven by extreme weather events, right? And I guarantee you, most of those who are experiencing things, like I said, speaking as a man, I guarantee you they are Jakes. Because the Lord said he gonna punish us for our iniquity. So our people have been, falling ways of little heathen, living amongst them, adopting their ways, adopting their gods, and so forth and so on. Therefore, this is judgment from Yahweh Shai. And don't get me wrong, heathens get, they get judged as well, but more so, we we focus upon on our people. It's a Gabriella Boucher, executive director of Oxfam International, said climate change is no longer a ticking time bomb. It is exploding before our eyes. It is making extreme weather such as droughts, cyclones, and floods, which have increased fivefold over the past 50 years, more frequent and more deadly. Now, understand this, right? It ain't just necessarily. It's not climate change. It's not global warming. It's not all that. Like, yeah, the Lord is sending the change to climates, right? But they try to blame them, like, global warming and all this and that. No, this is Yahweh Shemel Shai doing this. Right, this is his earth. He controls all things, no matter if it be done through men or he sent it himself. The Lord Yahweh Shem Shai is in control, and everything is going as planned. It says, as global heating gathers pace, fossil fuel companies have been reaping bumper profits from the soaring price of gas after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The profits of fossil fuel companies over 18 days will be enough to fulfill the UN's $49 billion appeal for humanitarian aid this year, the Oxfam report found. Governments will meet in Egypt in November for the COP27 UN climate talks, where they will be urged to plan much tougher cuts in greenhouse gases, and rich countries will be asked to provide finance for poor countries to adapt to the impacts of the climate crisis. However, many leading figures are gloomy on the dim prospects for the talks. Geopolitical upheavals due to the war in Ukraine have imperiled the fragile coalition brought together at the COP26 in Glasgow last November, where all countries agreed to focus on limiting global heating to 1.5 Celsius above pre-industrial levels. So I guess, with the factories and pollution, all this and that, they want to stop doing that. Whatever, it sounds good. It say Boucher said leaders of the rich polluting countries must live up to their promises to cut emissions. They must pay for adaptation measures and loss and damage in low-income countries, as well as immediately inject life-saving funds to meet the UN appeal to respond to the most impacted countries. Boucher previously called for a windfall tax on energy and food companies, which have also benefited from soaring food prices around the world. She also called for the debts of the poorest countries to be canceled. While they all sound noble, the case may be, but in the day, is that gonna happen? Hell no. Esau Edom is not cutting no debts. Esau, hey, they whatever you owe them, they definitely want it back, with interest. And you know how they is. If you can't, they gonna work something out to where they're gonna put you in the more. They gonna strain you, more and more. These devils, they definitely don't play fair. Because the elites, the globals, they have enough money in they self to pay for all these things. They said things and to eradicate hunger and all this and that. You talking about we need to put up our foundation together, this money, but yeah, at least they can actually just go to a country and just pay for all of it. Just like in this country too, they can just pay for all of it. But guess what? The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. They devils, they demons, so they don't want to stop hunger. They don't want to stop anything, but at the end of the day, they can't anyway, because this is all, prophecies and through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai to bring famine, food insecurity, right? People to starve to death, right? It says among the countries highlighted in the Oxfam report, most are severely afflicted by drought, and many of them in Africa. Somalia is experiencing its worst drought on record, and 1 million people have been forced to flee, while in Kenya, 2.5 million livestock have died, and 2.4 million people are going hungry. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a large number of livestock. 2.5 million. That is not a small number. It says cereal production in Niger has fallen by 40% owing to extreme weather, leaving 2.6 million people in a state of acute hunger, while the desertification of crops and pasture land in Burkina Faso has resulted in more than 3.4 million people in extreme hunger. Right, and of course, people broke and where prices rise, this and that, but they would ask you for some damn money. But that was the gist of this article. Like I said, it caught my eye. Extreme hunger soaring in the world, and world's climate hotspots, says Oxfam. And at the end of the day, it's all controlled and sit by Yahweh Shem Shai, for punishments to these people. Right, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 15, start at verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people, right? Who are the people of Yahweh Shem Shai? You Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? They say the words of prophecy, right? What prophecy means? To say before. So we're speaking the things through the Spirit of the Lord right now, and they're going to happen in the near future. right, which I will put in thy mouth. So these are the words of Yahweh Shem Shai, putting it in his men's mouth. This is not us speaking of our own accord, of our own heart. This is the Spirit of the Lord being moved upon us to speak unto you, to warn you of these said perils that's going to be sent to the earth, saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. And what's written in paper? That's why we have the scriptures. That's why we have the Bibles. And say, for they are faithful and true, because why? The Most High is not like man that he should lie. So he's not a liar. It's impossible for Yahweh Shem Shai to lie. Right? If you say something gonna happen, it's gonna come to pass in its due season. Verse 3. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee, right? So we don't fear what you imagine. We don't fear about what you think. We don't care about none of that. Nor do we care if you believe or not, right? Because why? These things gonna come to pass because Yahweh Shem Shai said to. They say what? Let Romans 3 says what? Let the Most High be true, and let every man be a liar. Roughly paraphrasing. So we're not worried about if people believe it or not. It's gonna happen. It is what it is. It's gonna come to pass. You just better hope that you are not part of those who will receive those judgments. Because why? Verse 4 say what? For all the unfaithful, right? All those who not throw this off, all those who turn the shoulder away, all those who don't believe, all those who don't care. Oh, it's a white man. This is that. Y'all bug. This and that. Well, guess what? All those who don't believe, for all the unfaithful shall what? Die in their unfaithfulness. Right? What's that to us? You don't believe, therefore you're gonna be judged. You get what I'm saying? Verse 5, behold, saith Yahweh Shem Shai, I will bring plagues upon the world. As I said earlier, they can blame it on this and they can blame it on that, but at the end of the day, it all goes back to Yahweh Shem Shai. He controls everything, right? It's and part of those plagues, what? The sword, right? Like I said, sword, violent deaths, wars, rumors of war, rumors of wars. The wars going on right now, civilians getting killed. People, just all this, the Lord's bringing all those things. And what they say, famine, the lack of bread, lack of water, lack of anything, insecurity of, whatever the resources it may be. Famine. They say what? Death and destruction. All these things are being sent from Yahweh Shem Shai. Because we are definitely in the time of judgment. And we're in the time of great death. Right? It's for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and the hurtful works are fulfilled. So you're not getting picked on for no reason. No, it's your wickedness, right? Scripture say that the wages of sin is death. So these are the wages. This is your buildup. This is what you earn by living a wicked life, which ultimately results in what? Death. Right? That's what you earn by living wickedly and contrary to Yahweh Shem Shai. Right? And I'm going to jump to the next chapter and say what? 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 17, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days, right? Wait, this is, man of the Lord, Ezra, he's seeing the Lord gave him pretty much an image, or, like I said, he just showed them through the Spirit, however he showed them that what? Horrible times are coming, bad times are coming, and it was so bad that he was like, damn, who gonna deliver me in these times, right? But we understand that, he being elected, he gonna be saved, right? And into the Spirit, we believe he here right now, because this also proves what? Revelation. I mean, not revelation, but reincarnation, Salakia. I was thinking about Revelation 10:10 when he said John shall prophesy again. But that's reincarnation as well, so Salakia on that. But so we believe that he here in these days, and these days were these latter times that we're in right now, where all these things, these said perils are definitely going to happen, going to come to fruition. Verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, right? That's a sorrowful time you can't eat when you hungry, you can't do this and that. It's a sorrowful time when plagues and pestilences hitting people. It's a sorrowful time when countries are war torn and war is changing the whole aspects of life. Right, it's a sorrowful time. It's a time of mourning. People ain't happy. People are upset. People are sad. Right? People put on this facade that they're okay and they're happy because social media give you a platform to voice your opinion, make you seem like you're doing okay or whatever the case may be. But behind closed doors, people are upset. Doom and gloom. Right? It say what? The beginning of famine and great death. Didn't it just say that 18 million people are on the brink of starvation? That's a lot of people about to die. Right? It said up to 40-some million people, experiencing acute hunger, and that's just speaking about in the famine itself. And that part of in just those 10 countries. It's not counting everywhere else. Right? So he said a great famine and great death, and death is about to come in a great fashion. The beginning of wars, as we spoke of earlier with the Russia, Ukraine thing, and other wars that's going on. And the power shall stand in fear, right? Up from the elites all the way to the lesser luminaries. Everybody's standing in fear because the things are coming to the earth that people don't understand, but also they understand, the elites understand that their kingdom is coming down. It's going down. That's why they stand in fear, because they know the next thing after this is what? Shackles, slavery, brutality is coming unto them, to reward unto them double as they have rewarded unto us, right? the beginning of evils, right? Bad times. What shall I do when these evils shall come? And the thing you need to do is put your trust and faith in Yahweh Shema Shai. But first, that means what? You got to humble. Ultimately, you got to put the spirit on you to humble down and to listen and to receive this, right? Because ultimately, it's all about the elect. Lord will only be able to elect. Not anyone can say, oh, I put down my life and I'm going to serve the Lord. No, the Lord have to bring you into this thing, right, of ours. As Apostle Gabar says. It says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. So these are sent as punishments to correct your behavior, right? But as the next scripture say, what? But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness. They ain't not going to turn from it. People ain't going to turn from their wickedness. They're going to continue to live wickedly. Not going to care, nor always be mindful of the scourge. So if they get put in a situation, an evil situation, a bad situation, hey, at the end of the day, they just going to brush it off like, oh, that was nothing. They're going to go back into their wickedness. Right, they're not gonna care about it. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, which victuals goes into food. You know, as far as like, hey, they were cheap at a point in time, but hey, prices are going up and going up. Right? That they shall think themselves to be in a good case. People think themselves in a good case, You still got these restaurants open. Now hiring come here, get your $8.99 cheesy, 10-pack, whatever from White Castle. You go get all these things for a cheap price, so to speak. But they say, but even then shall evils grow upon earth. Even then, while everything's seeming all good and cool, and you try to put it off, there's nothing going on, more bad times going to come to the earth. More evil and perilous times going to come to the earth. Right? It say grow upon the earth. It says you grow upon earth. Sword, famine, and great confusion. Right? Famine is mentioned a lot of times in the scriptures. And that's gonna come in a great fashion. The sword gonna come in a great fashion and great confusion. People is confused as far as going on, especially with those prices rising and why this is happening and that happening. A lot of confusion is going on right now. Hell, you in Babylon the Great, Babylon meaning what? Confusion. Great confusion going on in this country, right? They say, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the. So many of the people on the earth, a lot of people on the earth is going to die from famine. They're going to die from not being able to have adequate food to feed themselves. Not only they going to die, their children going to die, the people around their household, even the pets going to die, right? And it says, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So let's say you do escape the famine. Well, guess what? The sword waiting for you. You ain't going to be able to sit down and put your arm on the wall and rest. No, the Lord got judgment set out for people. And if you're part of those undesirables, then guess what? You definitely going to meet, you're going to meet that judgment. And that's just really, what it is, man. Like, what it say? Judgment must come. This is part of the judgment you have about Shema Shai. And that's just what it is. That's just what's going to come. This is Jeremiah chapter 15, verse 1. Then said Yahweh Shema Shai unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, right? Moses and Samuel are men of the Lord. Moses represents the law. Samuel represents the prophets. Right? Yet my mind cannot be towards this people. But the Lord, like he's my mind can't be towards this people. Meaning who? The 2/3. He can't stomach them. He can't stand them. Right? Cast them out of my sight. Let them go forth. Goodbye. Go do what you're gonna do. Go continue on your wickedness. Don't listen. Don't take heed. Hey, get out of my presence. Be gone. Right? And it shall come to pass if they shall say, whither shall we go forth? So after y'all go into your wickedness, after you go back to your covetousness, after you're not being mindful of the scourges, when things really hit, when Jacob's trouble really hit, when things really get turned up, then they're going to be asking, whither shall we go forth? What should we do? Where's the prophets? Where they at? Where are those men at? Then once they do find somebody, this is what they're going to be told. Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith Yahweh Shema Shai. So this is the will of Yahweh Shema Shai. Such as are for death to death. Such as are for the sword to the sword, and such as are for the famine to the famine. Some of y'all just slated to die by hunger. Some of y'all just started it to wither away and pine away. That's your judgment. That's your lot. That's allotted for you to happen unto thee. And such as are for the captivity to the captivity. And I'll point over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, the sword to slay and the dogs to tear. Because a lot of dogs and a lot of these animals going to tear your flesh when you do starve to death. They're going to tear away the meat that's still, whatever meat that remaining on your body. And the fowls of the heaven, the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. Likewise, all these other animals as well. You're gonna be a meal in that day for the animals, right? And also you're gonna be a meal for other people. Cannibalism was coming back, in a great fashion, And but let me see. Matter of fact, I gotta get ready for camp. So I'm just ending off over here with the words of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, right? For nation, this is Mark chapter 13, verse 8. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines. There shall be famines. oh, we can stop it. We can get the humanitarian aid. We can pay for this. We pay that. No, there shall be famines. Anything you think you can do to offset the Lord's prophecies, that's vanity. It's not going to happen. It's without value. It's worthless thought. It's a vain imagination. It's not going to happen. And troubles, these are the beginning of sorrow. So these are only the beginnings. This acute hunger right now. These people on the verge of starvation right now. This is only the beginning, meaning it's going to get worse. Right? So, and that's pretty much all I got on this lesson, saying a little pressed for time, but, rolling is definitely edifying to sincere Akim out there listening. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, the apostles and elders, a great millstone, Ruel, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, especially the great gospel and sincerity and truth. Shalom, Yasha Allah, Abai, Babal.